I wanted to kind of touch on, because I know with the whole control freak tendencies and all those things with, like taking those steps and taking them with urgency, because as we know, we all want the clarity, but the clarity comes with the action. It doesn't come before it. And, I 100% admit that I have a hard time with that. And, but also then trusting God's timing with, because like we have a sense of urgency of how we would like things, how fast we would like them to happen or grow or whatever that is. And yeah, what is I guess just your best advice, or just what do you internally do, for that? You're taking the steps and maybe it's not happening quite the way you wanted or the way you intended or how quickly.
Girl, you are like reading my mail over here because I do. I'm a visionary. So I'm actually really clear on what I want. And then I'm a strategist. So I'm able to figure out the steps to get there. So then I'm like, wait a second. I'm doing it all right. I know what I want. I'm doing the action. Why is it not all turning out the way that I wanted to? And it's crazy because most of our plans involve other people that we can't control and a lot of other factors and circumstances that are, we can't maneuver those,
Yeah.
And so I guess for me, I have to remind myself, the Bible says some are called to plant and some are called to water, but it's God's job to grow those seeds. And so I want to have daily obedience, but not get stuck on the outcome and the
Mhm.
timing. I have to know who I am and trust that God is going to work it all out according to his plan. And for me, I've been having to unlearn a lot of habits and thought patterns that are no longer serving me, especially in regards to I'm a driven, ambitious, like go getter, make it happen gal. And if I'm not careful, I get really self reliant. And so I can see a way through, but that doesn't mean that that's what I'm supposed to pursue. I can see a way to fix it and solve it, and I can take care of my people and do all the things, right? Mama knows best. And then God's like, well, hang on a second. Did you want to invite me into this situation, or you just want to get yourself all wrapped up in this, And so I'm learning the art of surrender,
Oh,
which is not a complete like passive thing. It's not like I sit on the couch and go, well, I hope God delivers. I'm just going to wait like, for Amazon, God to show up and bring all the stuff. That's just not how it works. But when I partner my faith and my works, instead of just relying on my works, some of us have that tendency to rely more on our works. Some of us are faith people, but we're not really getting up and getting out there and doing the thing. So it's
mhm.
this combination of figuring out, okay, how do I co-labor with him? Right?
Yes.
Like in Matthew 28, when he just says, hey, if you're burned out, if you're weary, like come to me because I will give you rest. My burden is easy. My yoke is light. Why are you choosing to carry these things I never intended for you to carry? And that has been me the last couple of years. And so I'm learning how to cast my cares on him, and I'm learning how to daily invite him in and say, okay, how do we do this together? How do I yoke myself to you? Because then when I face these things, it's not as heavy because you're bearing most of the weight. And I'm just looking at you to say, okay, are we going? Are we pausing? Are we obeying? Are we worshiping? And just kind of, I know that's hard to kind of figure out what does that actually look like on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not sure that I have the answer because I'm in the process of figuring that out. But I'm just at this place where I'm like, I can't just be self-reliant. I can't take the responsibility. I've recognized a few codependent tendencies in me because I so badly want to help people. And I really genuinely think that I maybe have some wisdom or some insight or whatever, but you can't do the work for other people and you can't rescue them. And especially for us mamas, that is really hard. And so getting to this place in our marriage, in our parenting, in our businesses, in our ministries, where we co-labor with God and we do what that Matthew 11:28 talks about. And when we walk with him, it's this unforced rhythm of grace where we figure it out together and we actually enjoy the journey.